Back to another educational video. My name is Birova, Clean Health Master Coach and WBFF Pro. Today we're going to be chatting about all things reverse dieting and how you can benefit implementing it into your current routine to reach your health and fitness goals. If you're interested in learning more, keep on watching. Reverse dieting is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a diet turned upside down. Instead of cutting calories and ramping up the time you spend on the treadmill, you're increasing your metabolism by gradually adding calories back into your diet while reducing your cardio. Overall, weight loss is pretty difficult to maintain. Most people end up regaining what they lost and sometimes gaining even more. There's many reasons for that, but here's just one. For example, when you reduce your calories and your body size shrinks, your metabolism adapts. That means you must cut more calories to keep the fat loss going. And too often, by the time someone reaches their goal, the amount of calories that they're actually consuming to maintain their weight doesn't result to much food at all. As a result, additional calories creep back in and the number of the scale starts to rise. They end up dieting again, which results in that endless yo-yo diet cycle. But instead, if you slowly, intentionally, and strategically add the right amount of calories over time, you're more likely to maintain your fat loss long term. Now, what is metabolic adaptation? Well, metabolic adaptation, luckily for us, works in both ways. If you increase your calories gradually, your body will adapt in the other direction, just as it does when you are decreasing your calories. When done so properly, reverse dieting provides several metabolic benefits. 1, your BMR rises, resulting in more energy output. Your workout capacity increases thanks to the more available energy from the food you're consuming, thus increasing energy output. Your NEAT also increases for the same reason, resulting in more energy output. To be clear, reverse dieting can be somewhat advanced. In order to do it effectively, you need to be willing to eat roughly the same amount of calories each day, measure your food intake to avoid any overconsumption or underconsumption, adjust your physical activity up or down depending on your specific goals, and acknowledge that it may not work for you or take longer than you expect. If you're interested in implementing reverse dieting, here are my successful tips in doing so. 1, you're going to need to calculate your current calories and establish your starting macro targets. To avoid jumping up in calories too quickly, you need to figure out how many calories you're currently eating to maintain your body weight. From there, you'll use this to establish your baseline macros. Next, you need to decide how quickly you want to increase your carb and fat intake. To figure this out, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Do you care more about reaching a high caloric intake than you do gaining a little bit of body fat? Are you trying to overcome a history of overeating or binge eating or fixing an unhealthy relationship with eating and food? Are you planning to hit the weight room hard and focus on adding muscle during this reverse diet period? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you may benefit from a more aggressive approach to reverse dieting. Although you will likely gain a little bit more body fat doing so, you will feel better and less deprived. You're gonna have more energy to train. Your maintenance calories are gonna be high enough to allow you to be flexible to fit the foods you crave, and you'll be less inclined to overeating and going back to unhealthy eating habits. Next thing you wanna do is raise your carbs and fat at a rate that is compatible with your goals. Now, if you've decided that a slow reverse is more in line with your goals, my recommendation is to start by increasing your carb and fat intake by about 2 to 5% per week, depending on how concerned you are with gaining weight. Now, the way you can figure out whether you should be increasing or decreasing your calories is to weigh yourself often. My advice is to weigh yourself multiple times per week to control your weight gain. If you choose 2 to 3 days per week to weigh yourself first thing in the morning, you can use these numbers to assess your average weight change over the course of the week, which will then help you evaluate if it's a good sign for you to increase your macros. Now, granted, there is a variance of about 3 to 5 pounds that I personally allow myself for a rate of weight increase when adjusting my macros. Now, after reverse dieting, once you've reached your desired caloric intake, you need to stop and choose what direction you want to go in next. If you're satisfied with the amount of food you're eating, you can stop adding calories and go from here. If you feel good, you may want to stay at this level and remain at this maintenance level of new intake for calories. Now, If you'd like to enter a deficit and lose weight, your metabolism is at a way better standing point as your maintenance is much higher, so you have a greater budget to cut from. But you need to be smart about how you go about it. You don't want to recklessly slash your calories. You want to diet on as many calories as possible while still losing weight. Metabolism adapts in both directions. If you slash your calories too fast, your metabolism will readapt to really low calories and you'll end up feeling frustrated and stuck while you're not reaching your goals. If you guys love educational videos like this, make sure you like, save, and share. Thank you so much for watching.